Welcome to the Behind the Drapes podcast. I'm your host, Expo Rich, and I'm here with Nicole from Stimulate. Thank you so much for being here today. Really appreciate it. And we're fortunate to, now this is our second time meeting, and it was great meeting you at IAEE, and now we're at the SISO CEO Summit here in Austin, Texas. Thank you so much for doing this. And one of the things that I always like to know about when I have guests on is I always love to hear the origin story and how you ended up in the trade show world.
Yeah, it's a great question. I love events, genuinely love them, unintentionally fell into doing them through my career. And I've just so enjoyed getting to cross every category that basically you can imagine from a consumer perspective. So my background is very heavy in retail business.
Okay.
So I actually was a marketing director for Adidas America, Franco Sarto Footwear. And in those roles, I started going to events. This is taking us back to my 20s, right? And fast forward to I was just about 30, starting my own family. I also started a company called Retail Minded at the time.
Okay.
And it was designed to deliver news, education, support within the retail space behind the scenes. So of course that meant trade shows too.
Right.
And so I certainly called on a lot of the shows such as Magic and other ones that I have historically attended early on in my career. And I ended up working with amazing clients from Emerald, Clarion, various others, smaller associations, both creating experiences for education primarily for them, but also delivering. I did a lot of sessions myself, whether it's a keynote or various other learning.
Was your focus on retail at large and different brands, or was it in the fashion sector or apparel?
It originated in fashion, but once I launched my own company, Retail Minded, it started to really evolve across all the categories. So I always say from fashion to flooring.
Okay.
So whether it's the floors, such as the Covering Show, which is a great show. I've spoke at their show many times.
Okay.
And then it's great because here my mentor as a first-time attendee to SISO is actually Jennifer Hoff, who's, represents Covering. So it's been full circle in that perspective. But as I progressed, after COVID, a lot changed for a lot of businesses.
Okay.
And one of my clients did ask me to do some sessions around adult novelty. And it was at that time that my retail data heart just dove straight into the data surrounding that category and realized that there really wasn't a show that truly took a hold of this category and the vast reach that it was within. So not just adult novelty, but as I define sexual wellness, is head to toe, young to mature, purpose to pleasure. So Stimulate is a sexual wellness trade show.
And that was going to be my next question. I wanted you to tell a little bit more about the brainchild that turned into the event, and where. So tell us a little bit more about Stimulate.
So Stimulate was founded in 2022 is when I really founded it, but 2023 was our first show.
Okay.
And we hold it in Nashville once a year. It's a business-to-business experience where we're bringing together the brands that sell sexual wellness products. So just as an example, you could go to your local CVS. They define it as intimate care.
Right.
So that might be tampons, menstrual support, but it could also mean condoms or contraceptives in other ways, or STD kits, testosterone health. There's so much there. And it also includes pleasure products. So I define it as purpose to pleasure, and our show really encompasses that.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's great. And I know that when we were speaking before, you mentioned that not only was it an underserved category, it's a category that didn't exist as a standalone. So that's why you definitely felt you needed to be there.
Yeah, and it comes with some stigma, taboo. It just comes with society kind of eyes open a little when you talk anything to do with sex or sexual. But as people begin to understand what it really defines, they also recognize we all connect to that, just simply as humans.
As humans,
Yeah. And so it's a very polished, beautiful, sophisticated show that has a heightened sort of boutique feel. We really want a strong sense of community. We nurture that throughout the year with content. We do some smaller activations throughout the year. And it's put, amazing leaders in this space together. I'm talking urologists, gynecologists, decision makers at retail like CVS and Walgreens, who are making literally the decisions that connect to consumers, who are influencing their lives in such a personal way.
Yeah.
So it's a really dynamic space.
Nice. And it's speaking to someone else that was working on an underserved market, and it's it's great to have a champion such as yourself who's out there putting this together, putting your own blood, sweat, and tears into this your event that you're building, and now you're going to be building a sub economy that's going to then grow someone else's fortune. So it's great to have people like you, an entrepreneur who's so passionate about growing a category that doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. We actually just recognized some female founders in the month of March, which is International Women's Month, and helping to connect them to these people. We even have a program as part of our activation that isn't really marketed, but it's called Emerging Mentors. And we bring in a mentor program to our emerging brands. So they're actually buyers of established stores, mainstream, specialty, and then independent stores. And these are all, and then also a brand like Dane, which is a wonderful brand within this category. One of their leaders is also going to be on that program to help 25 emerging brands who will attend our show so that they can better connect the attendees to the retailer and find success even beyond those 2 show days.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right, well, perfect segue here. I always like to ask about mentors, and who are some of the people that helped you develop into the leader that you are today? So what are some of the people that helped you along the way and pulled you up?
So there's one woman in particular that definitely deserves a wonderful shout out, Vicki Cantrell. So she has held incredible roles in the retail sector as leadership C-level with like Tory Burch, Giorgio Armani, and now she runs her own event called the Vendor and Partnership Awards, which connects to retail tech, which I'm very passionate about. And she holds that in New York City just before the National Retail Federation, the big show. So it takes place that Friday. I look at it as the celebratory kickoff to NRF Week, the big show.
For sure.
And she's just been an amazing mentor in so many different ways. She's come to my shows with her husband each year as well, and truly lended like her own thoughts as a skilled professional in the general category of retail, but also as an event producer. So she's been really wonderful. And, you know, there's been other just inspiring women as well over the years. Carolyn Strauss, who works with Emerald, has always been a wonderful ear that if I've had a question, she listens. We don't get to connect as much as maybe I get to with Vicki, but when we do, it's always meaningful to me. And there's just been, honestly, even here, meeting people who are willing and wanting to talk in just the last 2 days. It's been so great.
Well, and perfect segue into my next question. I was going to say, this is your first SISO event?
Yes.
Okay, so you've been here now 3 days. What would you say are some of the takeaways from this event that's been a real value add for you?
Absolutely the conversations. So like this one we're having right now that we've had, you know, the days before, but really meeting people who've been in my shoes. You know, there are a lot of people here who are currently in my shoes as a young trade show or B2C operator. They're launching it, they're self-funding it, they have curiosities, questions, concerns, all the same things I do. But then there's also these amazing leaders who have built shows, sold shows, maybe did it again. And that's been just insanely beneficial to be able to pick their brains for a little bit and learning about things I didn't know. So like there's so many great groups and communities within SISO that I've learned about. I would have never known that had I not attended.
So I'm really excited for you. I'm glad that you're now part of this organization, and so I'm guessing that you're hooked and you're going to be coming here.
100%. I already texted my sister. I'm like, the leadership summits in Indianapolis, which is she lives close. I'm like, can't wait.
So well, I wish you all the success, and I can't wait to see how big Stimulate can go.
I appreciate that so much.
Thank you.